Hey y'all. So I am super excited for today's conversation. We're here with my good friend Lauren, aka the social media doctor. So first and foremost, we met years ago on Instagram.
Yes.
You were doing social media management. Do you still offer social media management services?
I mean, it's pretty casual because I have a
Mhm.
lot of other stuff going on. So I have a couple clients and people are always asking, but honestly, it's more like if the money looks good, then maybe,
Yeah.
but that's not really like what I go for. I like to do more coaching just because I can give them like my insights and then it's like kind of one and done after a couple meetings. Um,
Mhm.
and I like to teach, the Canva so like they know how to make their own graphics and the
Yes.
two in combination, I'm just kind of like stay out of it.
I will say, like, even when I met you years ago on social media, you always had like the best graphics. I know my lane. I am not an aesthetic girly, but you have always had great aesthetics, great content. So it's just great to see like your growth over the years and all the amazing things you're
You
doing.
too.
Thank you. One thing that I always stress to this community is like the power of relationships and collaborating with people. And I know that like early on, we were able to like lean onto each other for like support and questions and business advice and all that good stuff. So it's always good to, still have those connections and be able to do things like this. So thank you so much for being here, especially because like you're a business mom, you're a business woman, you are a wife, you're a mother, you have so much going on. So I appreciate your time so much.
Anytime. Anytime.
So I'll let you introduce yourself and tell them more about who you are, what you do, because I just have like a little random spiel, but I'll let you do the formal intro.
Should have made like a fact sheet for this. Okay, hi, I'm Lauren. I am from San Diego, California, and I am, like Tyler said, a mom, a wife, and a full-time entrepreneur. I used to, when I first started, would do social media management, and I've kind of grown down the path of enjoying more of like the creation side. I teach Canva on my social media. It's kind of my thing. And I also offer a Canva course called Canva College. I teach anything from video editing to website design. I'm like a tech person, like the actual, tech things like the backside. Like I could tell you every trick and tip on anything Apple computer phone related. So I kind of would say that I would call myself like a tech guru. Or I strive to be, right? Like I just want to be in Silicon Valley, like just living my best tech life.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I do coaching for Canva. I basically teach people to be able to not have to like outsource and hire graphic designers and be able to make their own content. Because I know for a lot of us, like smaller business owners, having to outsource and have that big, multi-thousand dollar payment a month is tough. So if you can teach yourself how to do your own graphics, it's just a lot easier to be able to post if you're just not someone that can afford the social media management like you offer, or
Mhm.
the paying a graphic designer. So I still want to say graphic designers are amazing to still have because you need them for like logo creation and branding. So
Mhm.
I'm not fully knocking out all of graphic designers. We still love them, but I'm teaching people more of like the everyday flyers, the ads, the social media posts, those kind of like quicker things that graphic designers don't need to be boggled down with. So
Yeah.
it's kind of what I preach and teach.
I
So
love it. And that's what we need. That's what we need as social media managers, like not only for like our clients' brands, but also for our own brands. Because what I've learned over the years is that really content sells. Like if your content looks good, that's like 60% of the work right there. Like maybe 20% is the copy and then you have the offer. But if you can capture someone's attention with like the creative, like that's you won't have the journey there. So with learning how to get better with graphics, first of all, it takes time. My graphics when I first started off were terrible, but practice makes perfect.
I don't
And
remember that. I always remember you having really good like aesthetic graphics.
ooh,
Wait, what was the very first color you did? Because you went through a phase, you did like bold colors, like bright neon-y colors for a minute. You did
Mhm.
green, kind of tan. I think that's kind of still where you're at right now. What else did you do?
Yeah, I did like black and white for a while.
Oh,
That's one thing that I always struggle with though, is like aesthetics, putting things together. So we're gonna get your opinion on that and how to make things look cohesive. I'm an Aquarius, not that I don't know if everybody subscribes to astrology and zodiac signs, but we're very eclectic and I like so many things. Like I love colorful things, I love classic things, I love contemporary things, like all the things. So it's always like, how do I stick to one thing, you know?
so
Um, so let's just reel it back a little bit. My first question for you is, what is like the biggest mistake you see people make with like their graphics or graphic designs or content on social?
I mean, the biggest mistake is not having a brand. So
Mhm.
going to someone's page and it says like social media manager and like all they have are like, I'm sorry, if you hear my dog like snorting, she's eating food right now and it's driving me
Oh,
nuts. So I'm sorry, I just have to tell you. Um,
mhm.
I
Molly,
will
right?
go to Molly, yes.
Aw.
I will go to someone's page and it'll be like, oh, social media manager. And then like their whole feed is just like pictures of like a flower and like then like their family and then like one graphic and it's one color and then like, oh, I when I look at that, I'm like, well, you're not serious.
Exactly.
It's not like your full-time job because you wouldn't, I don't know why that correlates, but like if it's not like if you don't have a brand, I don't think that like you're successful. Can I talk today? I don't think you're like a successful business owner if your brand isn't there.
That's
Controversial.
I agree though. If I go to a page and I see a bunch of flowers and flat lays and just random stuff put together, it gives very immature. And
Yes.
I think that what a lot of social media managers don't realize is that like people are not going to pay you premium prices for that. They're not going to take you seriously. They're probably going to offer you $200 and be like, here you
Right.
go. Because your social media is like a reflection of the work that you can do for others. Like
It's your
it's
storefront. It's
your
like your brick and
portfolio.
mortar, the windows of the front of your business. It has to look
Mhm.
good. Has to. Or like
Yes.
the blurry photos. They'll post like a you
Yeah,
can't do it.
yeah. That's so good. So, since that's the number one thing that you see, and I 100% agree, how do you put together, like, what are the basics, the first steps, like putting together a brand? Like, is that something you should immediately hire for, like hire someone to put the brand together for you, or is that something you could do yourself? Like, what does that look like?
Okay, that's a good question. I would say I'm a little 50-50 on that one because like, okay, for me, I've never hired anyone to do that, but it's just because my brain is creative enough to be able to like find my own brand and stick with it.
Mhm.
But I would say if you're someone that is like a business owner and maybe not like as creative, maybe not like a graphic designer, you're definitely going to want to pay someone to start up your brand unless you have the brain to do it. And you're like, okay, I can get the colors together. I can find my 3 or 4 fonts that I'm going to stick with. Like I can get my logo made. Unless you can do that, absolutely spend that money up front to hire someone. Just like you're getting your LLC, you're going to get with a graphic designer to get a branding done because you have to like it's okay to change it eventually, but you have to stick with what you have. And I feel like that's just like, I mean, it's just the number one thing I see people, they don't stick with it. Just like we were
Yeah.
saying before, they either don't have it or they don't stick with it. And then it's just, it doesn't make people trust you.
Mhm.
And I think there's like a psychology behind it. I just don't know like the big in depths of
There's
that.
definitely psychology behind it.
Yeah.
Definitely psychology behind it. Okay, that's really helpful to know. I've actually never paid anyone for my branding. Actually, I did for the first time like in Q4 of 2022.
Um,
And I've done nothing with it. It's literally just sitting there and I'm like, I'm gonna eventually going to like start implementing it out and rolling it out. But for the most part, I haven't done anything on social. Um, but I feel like I'm one of those people, I'm not the best at graphics and branding, but I'm one of those people that can figure it out. So
yeah.
you'll definitely know if you're creative, you'll definitely know if like you can figure it out or if you can't figure it out. But it's definitely doable. Let's talk about like cohesive color schemes. Do you have like any advice for creating things that look like cohesive visually with color schemes? Because I know like your social media looks amazing. Like it just looks like everything just flows together, and it always has. Like I remember you DMing me like years ago, like your stuff is good, but it could look so much better.
Did I say
Like you
that?
were like, yes.
Oh my
I
God,
was
I'm such a, oh my God.
no, it was great. Like you were just giving great advice. You're
My
like, it looks
unsolicited
good.
advice.
No, I'm sure we were both like giving each other like random
Yeah,
advice, which is
probably.
always helpful.
Probably.
But how do you keep everything so cohesive?
You know, I'm like, okay, so I'm super weird, right? I did not go to school for this. I couldn't tell you the thing. I probably shouldn't even say this. Like, I don't even know a thing or two about like color theory. All I know
Mhm.
is like my brain has it just does this thing where like I look at something and it looks good. And
Yeah.
then like normally, 9 times out of 10, it's like the colors are meant to be together. And again, there's
Mm,
like a whole psychology behind this. I'm not like a real graphic designer, like I didn't go to school
mhm.
for it. So I'm not going to claim that, but there's tools that I use. I have a lot of like color palette books and I like
Okay.
to reference those a lot. I can send you some, they're on my bookshelf over there, but I use those sometimes when I'm trying to like come up with like a random color palette just for a client. Let me think. But on Canva, there's like a website that's kind of like a secret website. And
Mhm.
it's canva.com/colors. And if you go on there, it has like this whole like realm of like teaching you about colors, and you can like put in one color you like, and it'll show you like other colors that work well with that. And things like that. I'll use that. There's another website called it's like Coolers, but it's colors with two O's. So
Okay,
it's
I've seen that before.
Lors. I'll send that to you also.
Okay.
And I'll go on there and like come up with different color palettes. But I know that's like people's biggest struggle is trying to figure out colors. I would say my most success I've had is with this book. I got it on Amazon. It's probably like $10. You see if I can find it real quick, but it's this book about color palettes, and it's just the prettiest, most aesthetic color palettes you'll ever see. And it has all of like the hex codes in there. So I do
Yeah.
that a lot. Another thing that I'll do is I will take pictures a lot wherever I am, like outside or maybe at a store, anywhere where I like the colors, right? And I'll take a picture and I'll drop it in Canva and I'll use the color picker tool to like pull colors from it. Um, I'm from Southern California, so as you know, we're lucky to be able to see really pretty sunsets. So I could tell you like 90% of the color palettes I get are when we have really pretty colored like sunsets, and I'll
Yeah.
take a picture of it and I'll just like pull the colors from that.
It's like the
So,
vibe of your background right now.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of like my whole vibe. This is actually one of my favorite color palette books. You probably can't see this on here.
Palette perfect. Okay.
Palette Perfect by Lauren Wagger. It's on Amazon. Oh, it's like $30, but it's one of my favorite ones just because I don't know. I just like all it has like a lot of like pie chart looking things. And I like to be
Um,
able to see multiple colors and not just two together. So it kind of gives you like whole palettes and not just like two and done. Um, Let me see if I added anything else on here that I'm not remembering.
I love that you use books and resources to develop this skill further, because honestly that's something I've never done, because I've always been like, oh, I'm not good at graphics, so I just throw things together. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of like entrepreneurs or creatives make. Like we don't take the time to really do our research, to learn more, to develop that skill. Because honestly, like the better developed a skill is, the more we're able to charge, the more we're able to add value as creatives.
Yep.
So I,
Invest in yourself.
yes.
Like, because I didn't go to school for this. I went to school for tourism.
Mhm.
Like, and did you go to school for this?
No,
And what
HR.
did we do? We just like taught ourselves. We just
Yeah,
taught ourselves how to do this. I
exactly.
have books on fonts. Like I'm the biggest nerd. I will
Mhm.
literally read books about fonts just like for fun. That's how I get like different fonts combinations that I like. I like to find, I go on like TikTok and find graphic designers like the Adobe ones, and I'll watch them talk about their favorite graphic design books, and then I'll just read them. A lot of them, if you did want to get into it, you can find a lot for free on like college library, like ebooks.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Like a lot of the big ones that are normally like $200 graphic design books, you can get them all free
Mhm.
on college library, like ebook stores.
Yeah.
Fun
Cool. I
fact.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
Another question I have for you
Okay.
is where do you find inspiration?
Yeah, so like I was saying before, I think the most would be, excuse me, getting over a bronchitis. Try not to choke. I think would be going out and like what's around me. I
Mhm.
am really drawn to just like nature and like using nature in my graphics because I feel like what's better than like Mother Nature, right? So like whether it's like a pretty looking flower and I take a picture and get like all five of the colors from the flower, that's kind of where I get a lot of my inspiration as far as like colors wise. As far as my like what I post, where do I get my inspiration from? Pinterest.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good. I
sometimes,
always
yeah.
forget about Pinterest. Like,
Well, it's become like okay, if this was like 2011, I would be like Pinterest all day. And I know Pinterest is still really big, but it's become so like back in the day, you could just go on it and scroll, and it's just beautiful pictures. Now it's like every other post, like every five, like literally my whole feed, there's like one good one and the rest is ads.
yeah.
So it's kind of hard. That was my dog burping, so excuse her. So yeah, Pinterest would be where I get most of my inspo. I do like to go and just look at what other people are posting.
Mhm.
Um, I
Are there
think
any
that's
brands that like stand out to you on social
oh
that you like know what they're doing?
yes, yes. The Leap is my absolute favorite.
Look
A
up right now.
must follow. They post social media news. I'm obsessed with everything that they do. Their graphics, they know it. We're like best friends. Well, I think we are. Um, they're absolutely amazing. I just love all of their graphics. And if I could aspire to be a brand that looks good on the internet, it would be them. So I hope we repost this so that they can see how obsessed I am with them, even though I tell them this probably every other day. I just love their whole aesthetic. It's not, I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it just looks good. And it's so
Oh,
appealing. And it's like,
yeah.
okay, everything you post, I'm just so drawn to it.
I literally
Um,
just started following them like 2 days ago. So it's so funny that you mentioned them.
oh, well, perfect. They're great. And I'm trying to think anything else that just pops out. Um,
I feel like you would like, I don't know if you follow their page. Let me see if it looks the same.
oh,
Like
later.
Drink Poppy. Oh yeah, later's cute.
Later, love everything on the Later app. Drink Poppy.
It's Poppy with an I. It looks a little bit different. If you scroll down to like the feed in some of the older days, it looks a little bit
Oh
better.
yes. Oh
But
yes.
it's
Yes,
so
times
fun,
a
right?
thousand.
Like this is the type of product based company that I want to work with.
Literally same. Like I just want to live inside of their brand. Oh yeah. Just this is like everything. Like this looks like heaven to me.
And later always kills it. Like
Later
their
has
content has been great
great looking content.
forever, for years.
Yes, just obsessed. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else that is sticking out to me. Um,
Very unfortunate because I feel like I'm a Planoly girl over later,
Me
but
too. Me too. Me too.
Planoly's social content is not nearly as strong as later's.
I know I hate it because it could be so good. And I'm so drawn to later, but I'm Planoly all day in the back side.
Yeah.
I love Create and Cultivate. I love their Instagram
Oh
feed.
yeah.
They have
Honestly, it used to be stronger back in the day than it is
yes,
right now.
yes.
So I don't know if they got a new person or what.
They
But
must have. They must have.
it's different. But yeah, I do love their content.
And then who else do I love? Um, I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much it that like sticks out very strongly.
Mhm.
There's another one I want to say, but I don't want to say because it's like competition. So I'm not gonna say it. Um, let's see. I also uh not as much like a great fee, but lately they've been like stepping up their game. So I'm gonna give them their props. Paxia, join Paxia.
No, how do you spell
Okay,
that?
so they're like a stock image video site and they're fantastic. Um I love all of their like stock videos because it's like real. It's not like that fake phony stock image stuff. I hate that. But this is like real stock video. And their social media, I would say in the last couple months has just completely switched and is just through the roof amazing. So that is one to
Mm.
check out.
Do you see like any do you have any predictions with trends with content moving forward? I feel like or this year for 2023, I feel like over because we've been in this game for a long time. So I feel like it went when I first got into social media, everything was like very minimal, like you were saying, like the stock photos, the coffee, the laptops, the very
Coffee.
like
The coffee next to
influencer.
like the laptop and the
Exactly. And now things are a little bit more bold, like more colorful, more bold fonts. Um, I'm even seeing like I feel like people are going for like a more retro feel even
I
with
love.
social. Do you see anything that you see is trending or anything, any predictions that you have?
Yeah, I think that the future is going to be nothing but AI. I mean, obviously, like it's not stopping anytime soon. So I feel like AI, like I've been seeing a lot of people because Adobe just released this what's it called? Firefly?
Okay. Yeah,
I
that's
don't quote me. I don't know the name. They just released their new AI and apparently that mixed with Mid Journey, which is what I use sometimes. Um it's like the graphics are next level and I've been seeing like graphic designers like Adobe graphic designers using it a lot, which is interesting to me because a lot of them hate Canva. um but I won't get too far into that. But I have a lot of like people that troll me being like my job is not real because of
yeah.
you know so yeah. But anyway, so it's funny when now they're all using AI is all I have to say about that. But AI is definitely going to be a a thing. And 3D, I feel like 3D and futuristic design. So maybe like a
Mm.
little bit of like brutalist design for futuristic and 3D. I see 3D everywhere. I see it more and more. I'm actually like pretty obsessed. I just posted one to my story.
Okay.
Have to see it.
Let me
I
look.
it just it was my first story I did yesterday. Oh, no, never mind. There's two in front of it. Like it's amazing what these people are doing with like 3D plus animation. Um, so I feel like that is definitely a thing. However, you can't really do that as much on Canva, so it's not, you know, as easy to get to,
I'm obsessed.
right? The I like your vibe.
Yes.
Obsessed. So that's kind of like my thing right now. I'm very much trying to figure out how to do it. It's on Illustrator. I can do it, but it doesn't look like this. This is just incredible. This whole page I'm obsessed with. So I think that's definitely going to be a
You'll
thing.
follow.
Right. So I would say, yeah, I mean 3D, AI, brutalist, futuristic, because I see that a lot. And I also am seeing like this little like dreamy thing happening. I kind of do it a little bit. Um, a dreamy in combination with like retro. That's kind of like what I strive to be. That and like a bright rainbow.
That's so interesting. Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is like Renaissance, Beyonce's Renaissance
Yes.
album. And it's
Yes.
like, what was the catalyst for this? Like, where did this? It's always interesting for me to think about like where these trends are coming from.
Right. Like who
Um,
makes them? She does.
exactly.
Is this an answer? Beyonce did
That
it.
was
That's why it's a
Beyonce.
trend. Duh. Was there a question?
Exactly. Like,
Right.
I'm thinking it was Beyonce.
Yes.
Which I think is something that people need to take note of, like who's the ones that are like coming up with these trends, how can you implement it in your brand or put your own spin on it to stay relevant and to get people's attention.
You have to stay up with the trends. And I'm not talking like the TikTok trends. I'm not talking
Exactly.
about those trends. Do you like my little, I don't remember which TikTok that
Okay,
was,
I
but
got it. Over 30 club. I can't.
yeah, no, cannot. We're not talking about those trends. We were talking about just like the trends of like one trend I see a whole lot lately, and I'm actually really in love with it, is like when there's like a big it's like memes, but like trendy memes where like, what are like the Met Gala just happened, and then they'll have like Lil Nas X with like, that picture, and then they'll have like social media manager and then their thought. Like I love that. Super
Yeah.
into that. I have not done
So
that.
creative.
I
So fun.
love it. And it's mixing like trends and like what's currently happening with like
Mhm.
memes, but make it aesthetic.
It's such a great shareable content, such great
Mhm.
relatable content. It evokes emotion, relatability, like chef's kiss.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we're not even talking about like the content creation side of things, like just or putting together like valuable content. But I definitely agree. And if you can make like it aesthetically pleasing, like things that people want to share, you're in there.
Make it shareable, period, the end.
Beautiful. Shareable and beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay. Can you share your screen with us and show us some like Canva tips? I feel like one thing that I noticed that people make a big mistake on when it comes to Canva, using Canva, because Canva's bomb. Like she did her thing when she came up with Canva. I wish I came up with Canva. Um, However, I feel like we see the same templates over and over and over. So I'm always like, do your due diligence, like search the templates. There's so many good ones. But I would love to see like how you create something, not even from scratch, but like what your process looks like when you are creating maybe some tips and tricks for elements and searching and all that good stuff.
Cool. Yeah. Wait, can I show you this real quick? Because I'm so proud of it. This is my AI. I have a client that it's her company. I was trying to get people with like white shirts and tattoos. Anyways, this is an AI. Like these are AIs. Can we just talk
All of
about
these
this?
men are fine, first of all.
I know. I was very proud of myself for like, come on. How in the world are AIs like looking this realistic? Oh, this one wasn't. Come on.
This is
What is this?
literally looks like a $2,000 photo shoot,
What is this?
$10,000 photo shoot,
And
actually.
this took me like 10 minutes on Midjourney. So just if you're not using AI, check it out. Try.
Wait, this is AI within Canva?
This is Midjourney.
Midjourney.
Midjourney, it is on Discord.
Okay.
So if you go into Discord, they have like okay, Discord is, unless you know it, is so freaking hard to use. Like Discord is, I don't know what is happening when I'm in there. All I know is one time I figured out how to find Midjourney, and now that's the only thing I go to in there.
Yeah,
So I couldn't really explain it. I'm sure there's a
I'm
YouTube video.
familiar with Discord, but I'm definitely gonna look into it.
You should. It's very cool. I'm kind of just getting started with the whole AI thing. At first, it was like not working for me. And
Mhm.
then I saw this one girl who kept posting really good ones. And I just asked her, like, can you just send me the prompt you did? And then I took her prompt, and then I was like, oh, you just have to like talk to it. You just have to like tell it every single detail. And like, I want
Yeah,
5 fingers, not
I
25.
feel like a lot of people think that like AI is gonna replace people, but it's not. Like you still have to know what you want for it to execute. Like
And
it's taking away the execution of it for us. It's not
right, it's
taking
just
away
making it easier
the
for
yeah,
us.
yeah.
But I feel like if you aren't using AI, you're going to be left behind. So you have to be at the front of all of this. Like you have to know AI before your clients do. And I'm
For
telling you, like people all over are obsessing with this whole AI thing. So like we got to know it before our clients do. Otherwise, like they might, I would say we might lose people only because they would think they know what they're doing. But in the end, they're not gonna, like you said, execute it. Like, they're not gonna know fully how to make it look good. So they're gonna be like, oh, I know how to do it, but not really. So
yeah, exactly. I
yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. Okay.
Like I already see some bomb templates over there on the left
These
side
aren't,
of your
yeah, these
screen.
aren't mine though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess my process of creating, I know I get this a whole lot. Like people are always like, "Oh, can you help me? Like, I don't know how to start from a blank page." I mean,
Do you
I'm
start
not
everything
gonna
from blank pages, or do you start from like a template?
85% of the time I start from a blank page.
Okay.
I would say if you go to my Instagram, like a good majority of them are just the reels. They're
Mhm.
like, those are all, I would say good majority of them are all templates because normally I'm posting my reels and I don't know why I think of the cover photo last, but I always seem to like think of it last and I'm like, I shouldn't say this, but I'm like driving in the car and I'm like at a stoplight, like trying to make it real quick so I can post it at my time. So yeah, don't drive in graphic design. Do not do that. And I don't do that. It was a joke. But anyway, um, yeah, so sometimes I would say at least like 50% of the time I'm using a template for my reels cover because I'm normally in the morning really busy.
Mhm.
But as far as like carousel posts and obviously like making client stuff, I make all of that first from scratch. I'll go and look at things on Pinterest and I'm not going to tell you that it comes to me really easily because it doesn't. I'm not just like sitting here and like, oh, I want this here and this here and this here. It's a matter of like mixing and moving and changing and like it'll take me a good amount of time to like mix something up. Or then there's days where I'm like sitting there and I'm like, it pops into my head, the whole visual. And then I go and sit down and make it in 5 minutes. So yeah, I might not be the best person to be like, do one on the spot, because then we're gonna sit here for the next 6 hours. No, not that long. I'm kidding. Um,
Let's do, can I have a suggestion, or
yeah.
can we just do like um a quote graphic?
Oh yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, let's do like
Okay. So
a
I would say I'm really, really big on like gradients right now. Like that's my whole thing. Like if you go to
Mhm.
my Instagram, it's just nothing but gradients. So probably shouldn't do that, but I don't care. They just all look so good. So I'll start here and I'll make a gradient. I'm not going to get like too crazy specific on these colors because my other issue is I could like sit here all day and like mix it until I think it looks
First
good.
of all, mind blown, because I didn't even know that you could do like the gradient tab over there. I just thought all the gradients were at the bottom, and that's what you had to choose
Okay,
from.
yeah, no, and
So
these are awful. So yes, so here you go. Okay, so I'll go a little slower. So if you click on add a color, you have solid color, which is what normally pops up, and you just click this little gradient guy, and then you just click on them and use the color picker. That's what I do to get your colors. Because the problem with it is it doesn't let you like pull in your brand colors yet. So I try to just hover over it. Or
yeah.
like for me, I have my notes on like the next screen. So I normally just like slide, grab the code and throw it in there. Um, yeah, because that's kind of annoying, but they'll fix that soon. I know they will. It won't just stay like that forever. But
Yeah.
as of right now, you have to like pull the colors from things.
Wow. I'm already impressed.
Well,
This has
perfect.
already this has already added
Great.
value to my process.
Happy. Happy for this. Um, something I do like to do is I like to like duplicate the colors if I'm trying to get more of one color.
Mhm.
So you're not just like stuck with it being like all even. So if you're like, oh, well, I want mostly red, like you can do things like that. So just keep that in mind. That you don't have to just stick with that. I think you can do 10 colors on here, but like just don't get crazy. Okay. Cause you can get you can get real crazy. Um, so yeah, so that is, are we taking pictures? So I'm trying to pose. Okay. Um,
Process.
so that is how I get my gradients. Another thing I like to always do, I normally do this last, but it's just popping into my head, so I'm gonna go with it. I always, always, always do textures on all of my everything. I just think textures make everything look 10 times better. So one of my favorite ones to use is poster texture.
Okay.
And then there's also something you can do like I use this one app a lot. It's let me see. It's called Teza.
Yes, I love
Teza.
Tessa.
Yeah. So on her app, she has a really good collection of like poster, what do you call them? Overlays. So I
Mhm.
like to use hers a lot because they just kind of go on there and they're perfectly perfect.
Yeah.
Um, so
I
that's a good
just
one.
discovered textures like
Oh, textures is everything.
90 days ago, maybe.
It
You know,
makes it
it
look,
just elevates it. It's like
yeah,
adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
uh-huh,
Yeah,
exactly. It makes it look like real.
exactly.
So if you don't see ones you like here, a fun fact, there's two things you can do. You can go to Google and you can find them on Google and just like, excuse me, bring them in, or you could take a picture of paper at your house. You can crumble it up, take a picture. I should make that a video. What am I doing? Oh, I'm
Add
making
it
that
to
a
your list.
video. It's a good video. Crumble up your own paper, take a picture of it, upload it on here, and then do the same thing I'm doing here. And you just drag down the transparency. Oh, okay. This is something you will run into. Canva loves to get rid of your whole background if you put something over something. So
Yeah,
you're just gonna have to mess around with it a few times so it doesn't go away. So that's always fun.
yeah.
Um, don't leave it up too high because like then you lose the whole background. So I'd probably say maybe around like 20. It's kind of where I tend to leave. It's where I tend to leave it when it works. But if that keeps happening, just keep hitting undo. It's a glitch that just never ends. And for all the years I've used Canva, it's always happened and I
Yeah,
don't
I
have
run
to
into that all the time.
all the time. So annoying. So yeah, so I love a good texture. Let's see. So going into text, I also really hate these colors with this poster. I'm just gonna throw that out there because I can't like live with myself thinking that this looks good. So it's just I'm
I'm
throwing it out
like,
there.
this is beautiful. I love not being the one creating this.
Love it. Um, okay, this is one of my favorite fonts right now. It's called Gulfs. The beauty about what I do, and I don't want anyone to think that they can do this because I only can do this because my whole entire job is literally showing people things on Canva. So if you see me using like 100 different fonts, it's because I can, because I'm making things for other people. Okay. I just want people to know, like, don't go and find random fonts. Use your little fonts right here. The only reason why mine look crazy over here is because these are just my most used ones. But I use
Canva
different
has so
fonts.
many good fonts. Like, unless I have a client that uses like a particular font that's not in Canva,
Yeah,
it's not the ones
I
there.
use so many different fonts. I'm just like the biggest font freak. If you want, I'm gonna be salesy. A new little, I guess, ebook is what you call it, but it's my 100 favorite fonts, free and pro. So it's
Yeah,
for like free version and pro version, and I think it's like $4. It's in my link in my bio. But
yeah. Really good.
if anybody wants it, I've had people like just be obsessed with it because it's so easy. Come on. It's just so easy to use because like there are over 3,000, I think almost 4,000 fonts in Canva. How are you supposed to know all the good ones? What is happening?
Exactly.
So
Listen, I use the same fonts over and over.
exactly. And then you can just get like stuck in it and you'll never know the good ones. So come find me.
I'm gonna go through just all the links in your bio so that I can add them to
Yeah,
this
I'll send them
recording
to you.
and people can access them.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so coming over here, you can obviously go down here and find like the font combos, but in all my years of using Canva, I have never used anything down here except for this menu I've used a few times because I had a client with a like a restaurant at one point. So
Mhm.
but that's when I didn't know how to like make these in combination. So I would just go and easily click that. But everything you see on here, you can make on your own. Just letting you know. Okay, so what is our font going to be? What's our font or font? What's our quote?
It is going to be, let's say,
I know everything that comes to my mind is so inappropriate. So I'm like not saying it.
there's something I thought was like rip me out the plastic.
Yeah.
Let's see. Good question. I didn't think this through. Let's do something. So this is just in my notes right now. It says process creator versus task doers.
What?
Process creators versus task doers. So this is actually a video that I'm going to do to talk about like the difference between people who create processes versus people who just do tasks. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, it makes you think, and I like that. So I'm not like against it. I just make that face because my brain's like, what?
Yeah,
But I
it's
like
not even
things
a
that are like
quote, but it was just right there in front of my face. So I'm gonna go with
that's
it.
okay. Whatever.
Seems like we're doing a carousel.
Okay, so probably why am I looking at my phone like I'm just like allowed to be on my phone during this? It's my mom. She's watching my child. That's why.
Go ahead.
She's like, "Can I get Remy this kitchen set for her?" Girl, come on. What are we doing
I
right now?
love grandma's.
She's
What?
like, "I know you're working, but I'm at Target with Remy and we're getting some toys." I'm like, "We just had a birthday 2 weeks ago."
Living her best life.
So weird too. My mom comes over a couple days ago and she brought her 6 new pairs of shoes. I'm like, you could have gotten her 2 and gotten me 1.
Exactly. It's so funny because she's probably gonna grow out of them in what, like
Oh,
6
she's gonna literally be done with them by July max. I'm like, why? For what?
craziness.
Nuts. Grandmas are next level. Like, we thought parents are crazy. No, grandmas are like, they take the cake.
I love it.
Okay, so let me think, because I don't like all of this in this font. Um,
Mm.
oh my
Yeah.
God, you put me on the spot, yo. I did not know I was gonna do this. Okay. Maybe it's because this is very confusing to me.
Mhm.
That's probably what is holding my brain up right now.
I do you use for keeping things cohesive, do you use like the same templates for everything or do you switch things up like on your feed?
No, I
No.
switch it all up.
Okay.
I have a few tips I'm gonna show you with like how I keep things like branded and stuff. So maybe if I ever get past this, um, I'll be able to get into that. Let me think. Okay, that was not what I was trying to do. Let me just see. Um, Maybe I'll play with the line spacing a little bit. Oh, maybe it's this color that's also kind of just not helping out. I'm really into this like wildly neon green lime.
I love it.
I'm also really into doing like effects and this outline.
Mhm.
Um,
Very cute. See, I feel like you just know what colors go together so easily. I would have spent 10 minutes like trying to figure out what outline color to do.
and um, okay, actually I don't like this. Hold on. See, but this is my process. This is why I'm like, oh, you want to put me on the spot to do this now, girl?
I think this
Let's
is
take up
helpful
some
for
time.
people. I think like it's helpful to see like behind the scenes, the thought process of what
I
goes
agree.
into it.
I agree. It's not just all fun and games.
Not just
It's
right.
like delete,
Oh, here's a
post,
graphic.
delete,
Even
post.
the best graphic designers that I know, like, and this is just all creatives, like it takes time. We can't be doing stuff. People
No,
want to like just push out content, push out, be creative on the spot. Like that's not how it works. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, but you know,
that's
that's
okay.
not how it's
I'm up
supposed to
for
work.
the challenge. I'm obsessed with doing this right now. That's why I'm seeing what this looks like. I also have to like see what things look like, and then, if I'm not into it, I'll delete it.
Um,
I'm super, oh, that's too big. Ew. But see, like your vibe and my vibe are two totally different things. So like I also am like, you might not. I'm so like uh
I don't have a vibe. My vibe is everything. Remember?
yeah. I'm so like what's the word? Like a perfectionist. So it's hard for me to do this kind of thing like this because then the whole time I'm just gonna talk through it like, oh, it doesn't look good. UV, what is that?
No, I can definitely tell you're a perfectionist. Your content looks like you're a perfectionist because it looks great. It looks perfect.
Thanks.
When I post stuff, there's going to be spelling errors. It's going to be formatted wrong. It's going to be all over the place, but you're going to learn something.
Do you want to hear the funniest thing ever?
What?
So I never have spelling errors. My mom and my papa were both like English teachers, right? So I grew up in the most grammar-filled household of life. Okay. So if I post something and it's ever like most of the time I won't have it because I don't have too many words on my graphic. If I do have something with a lot of words, I'll like send it to my mom real quick just to have her proofread it if it's something I think I like might need help with. So this one time, so that's why my stuff is always like grammar perfection. This one time I did a post and it was about taking your time and looking at what you're posting before you post it because of spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes. And it's the only post I've ever posted that had spelling and grammar mistakes.
The irony.
Just
That's
so
how it works.
so great. Another thing I like to do is I spend a lot of time just like when I don't have anything going on, I'll come in here and like find new things that I'm into and star them to save them for later so that I can just go in.
Elements.
Yeah, I'll go in quickly and like be like, oh, so I don't have to like go and spend hours trying to like find,
I'm the same way. Like when I find something that I like, I start and I just have everything there. So that is a tip. But my elements do not look as good as yours.
I spend hours finding elements, so it's like a
What do
thing.
what's like your number? What do you search when you're looking for elements?
Y2K, they have a lot of good ones. Really big looking at the Y2K ones. Brutalist has a lot of good ones. Brutalist will give you ones that look like these. What else do we type in?
I am always like, I love like that rainbow, but I was like squiggly line. Like, what is this called?
Wavy.
Wavy. Okay.
Wavy's gonna get you better results than squiggly. And then what?
I'm always looking up like blurb, like for the like gradient.
A lot of the times when I find like one, it'll make me find another, and then I'll just like keep doing like the see more like this, see more like this, so I can like, get more like that. So that's one of my big things is I like to, as I'm searching through things, because you can do that easily. Like if I have this on my screen, you can go to this little eye that says info, and you can do see more like this, and it'll show you sometimes that those are not, no. But you can also hit view collection if it gives it to you, and you'll see everything in the collection.
So
Okay.
cool.
Random collection. Like I love this collection. Don't know why. Coolest thing I've ever seen. So if I go up here, oh, dreamy, I'll do like dreamy escapism. Those are good ones. And these are just like for my brand. This is what I like to search. And this whole collection, just, do we even say off the chain anymore? We don't, but like that's what is flowing into my head. Are you kidding?
So dope.
Like,
Off the chain. Like
how?
look at the CD.
What?
Look at the CD. It's definitely giving you 90s, baby.
It's 90s through and through. That's why I said off the chain. It is just everything. I just love like the shading and the colors. Oh yeah, this is just like ice cream for your eyes.
Yes, I love it. And I definitely feel like the dreamy aesthetic is definitely in.
Yes, I am obsessed with it. I really want to do a star, but I don't know if it's too much. I think it's too much. Let's go to, I don't know. It's definitely, you're seeing the backside of it. Like it's not just the easiest thing unless it's in my head already, like takes a little bit of time to come up with different things.
For sure.
I don't know. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think they get the points. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah. we'll be here all day. Cause it's just like, it's literally like you're trying to just come up with something creative, you know?
Exactly. I think the biggest, I feel like this is all super helpful, from the gradients, the texture, the different fonts, the different, what is this even with like changing the fonts around, like
Effects.
the effects of the fonts. I love all the resources for like finding elements because I feel like a lot of people again don't know how to find like the right elements or what they're looking for. So all super helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Now, do you have any more questions? Because I have a few little tips I can show you.
Yes, please show us what you got.
Okay. Okay, let's see. So these are just a few things that help me like stay cohesive with my brand.
Mhm.
So the first thing you're going to want to know about is the brand hub. I'm sure everyone pretty much knows it by now. But you can have your whole brand kit in here. And then if you click this button, you can have different brand kits. Cause I know as social media managers, obviously like we have different people that we work with. And before it was like everyone's color palettes, everyone's logos all in the same spot. And I hated that, especially because I share my screen so much. And like sometimes I have certain people like don't want, it to look like someone's doing the work for them. Just say
Yeah.
that. So yes, I like this now to be able to like kind of keep it like hidden. And then you can have all your colors in the same space and your logos and your fonts. So definitely keep this in mind. You want to have this set up. Okay. A cool thing I like to do. So let's just say I actually used this one the other day. So let's say I want to use this exact template. What I'm
Mhm.
going to do is, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here back into design. I'm going to click on styles and I'm going to go in and click on my colors. And I'm just going to keep hitting the shuffle button over and over. And you can do this for yours also. You can come down here and go to color palettes and they have pre-made color palettes for you.
Yes.
And you can keep like, if you just keep hitting shuffle, it's going to keep giving you different combinations with the same colors and the colors go on and on.
Are
So
you
if you're kind of,
shitting me?
back and forth with what?
I said, are you shitting me?
Yeah, right. So if you kind of go back and forth with these, like it'll help you like come up with maybe like a color palette, or maybe you're like, I don't think this is gonna look good together. There's some things in here where I'm like, ew, this is horrible. Like this would never look good together. That looks so good together, right? Okay, so color palettes, this is a good place to go to. You hit the styles button. Another thing you can do is hit font sets. Let's say you're like, okay, I like this, but something's missing. This is the thing. When you're looking at your graphic and you're like, I kind of like it, but something's missing, I would say 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your colors aren't right or your fonts aren't right. So you're either
Mhm.
going to go in and come like click on this and it'll show you how to look with different fonts, which I like to do because sometimes you're just like, you just need that little push. You need that like, oh, let's just try out a different font. And then maybe the font was all you were missing and now it looks fantastic. So
Wow.
it's either the font or the colors is what you're missing normally. So coming through styles is going to be like kind of like your playground as far as trying to take something and make it look either with your own branding, or if you're still not there yet, you can still play around and try to maybe find your own branding within these colors. I think it's pretty cool.
That
If you
is
don't,
so cool. That eliminates so much time.
right, it's such a time saver. So if you're using the templates, you just come on here and click on your colors and you're like, boom, good to go. So good.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. So if you're like, I want to come up with my own color palette, how do I like apply that? And it's not something that's in here. All you have to do is add in a color palette to your brand hub, and then you'll be able to, just like this, come through here and try out different color palettes. So maybe like, I don't know, this is what's coming to me. Maybe it's like Christmas time and you're like, I want a Christmas color palette, add one in there. And then you can use that for, the holidays or whatever you're thinking of. Now, I know I'm telling you different things like to change up colors, but I'm saying this in like it's okay to change colors sometimes, but don't stray too far from your brand.
Mhm.
Okay. Just okay, for me, let's say I was doing a Christmas one. Like I would still use like my lime green and
Mhm.
use like my, I don't know, my red. Like I would still try to like keep it on brand as much as I could, just because I don't know. You don't just don't like go too far
Yeah,
away
exactly.
from your brand because it just doesn't look good. That's all. Okay, let's see. I showed you the color picker tool, but I'm just going to show you one more time in action. So let's say we wanted to find colors from this because this is like the prettiest. So all I'm going to do is click on like the background and I'll come up to my color, hit that plus sign, click on the color picker, and then I can find any color in here to be able to use in my design. So like I was talking about before, this is like pretty much what I do majority of the time to try to find my colors if I'm trying to do like a random graphic. This is what I do. I just use the color picker tool and that helps a lot. And then, okay, this is my last thing. So I know it's easy to be able to like use your brand colors on Canva to create posts for your feed. Keep in mind, you don't have to be totally branded in your stories. Like I am probably the worst at this. I am not branded in my stories whatsoever. I just do not care.
Yeah.
But it would look good if you were branded in your stories. So don't listen to me. And this is what I
Same.
do.
I'm like, oh, I don't got time for this, but it looks
It
great.
looks good. Like it when I see it on people's pages, I'm like, yes, keep doing it. And then on my page, I'm just like, so I get so lazy and just like I'm over it. If you want to look at my child like with cookies on her face, you can. Like that's
Yeah.
just pretty much where I'm at. So I would take some, I don't know, some circles or squares, whatever shape you want. And let's say you have 5 colors in your brand. And then you're just going to go and make each one of the colors, the circles, make it. I have my colors like split into 2 different, I've like combined. I'm like forever and always wanting to change my colors and wanting to change my website. Like I couldn't even tell you how many websites I've remade for myself and then not hit publish because I shouldn't.
Yeah.
So once we have our colors on a certain shape, what we're going to do is we're going to share, download with a transparent background, and we're going to save this to our phone. Okay. And we're going to save it as like a favorites in our phone. And then when we like go in to post it, let me see if I can just do this on my, let me share my phone screen.
Oh, okay. So I actually do this.
You do this.
Yes. I
Perfect.
don't do it enough, but I have it in my in my favorites
Perfect.
to
Okay.
pull
Let's,
from.
um, did I even hit transparent? I don't think I did. Okay, hold on. Let's send this to my phone and at the same time, let me share this. Okay, wait. Phone. A plugin. Like I just did this yesterday. Oh, never mind. We're good to go. Okay. Don't you just love when it wants to like update everything and you're like, I'm literally in a call.
Exactly. Every time.
Every time. Oh, I don't know what that just did.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those tips that a lot of people definitely don't know about, don't utilize.
No, not a
And that's something on my list is to be more cohesive in stories because again, it helps. Like if
it
things look
does.
good, people are going to pay attention to them.
Okay, for real. Okay, well, it worked. Okay, so now let's I don't know what is my deal. Okay, hold on. So we have this. Now let's see if I can screen share one more time. Come on, people. Oh, stupid phone. Well, I might just have to show you,
Okay.
like in front of, oh, there we go.
Here we go.
Okay, so now let's say I'm going into my Instagram and let's say it's probably gonna be my face. Oh no, it's not. Okay, so let's say I want to post I don't know, a picture. And I take a picture. Now from here, what I can do is go into my smiley face and go into like the photo albums. And I'm just gonna click on the picture that we saved. And now we have it all nice and pretty. And then
Yeah.
I can go up here and write like happy, whatever. Like let's say I'm saying happy Thursday. So we'll do the word happy and then we'll do the word Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yes, I was
Yes.
right. Okay, so now we have these, and what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to click on the color, the color picker, and then I can come down here. I can actually like grab my own colors, so it stays a little bit more on brand, and so it's not just using like the same colors that they give you. So that's something that's kind of fun to be able to like, I don't know, make it a little bit more like branded on your stories.
For sure.
So that's something I would do. And the very last thing that I do to make my brand look cohesive on my posts, and I'll just show you on like one of them. Okay, let's see. So this is my one from like yesterday. So see my captions. I do my captions in the captions app, and I have these are literally my brand colors. That yellow and pink are literally the hex codes that I use in all of my content. So if you use the app called Captions, it's not, of course, on this phone.
Yeah.
But this is the app.
I love captions.
Love. So this is the one that I use called Get Captions. It's like everyone's most favorite question to ask. Yes, this is the one. And then from here, you can literally add in your own hex codes and custom fonts. That's a new one, but I like the one I use. Excuse me. But that's just like an extra way to just like keep everything like nice and branded, nice and tidy.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love
I would
it.
say, like for real, I get just as many questions about my captions as I do with like my Canva content. Like people are obsessed with my captions. So if you want to get like extra engagement on your posts, use this. Use this
So
because you're gonna get
interesting. I
questions
saw
all day
everybody
long.
do about this app.
What is that? Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm actually about to do, I don't know if I'm allowed to, whatever. I'm about to do a little collab with them. I actually have to film that like after this, but I don't even have my haircut, so well.
Exciting. I'm about to be pushing out a ton of video content, so I'm definitely going to utilize your tips.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited. But this has been amazing. Like I learned so much myself. I'm ready to like start creating and utilize
Yay.
tools. I am definitely going to take all the links that you send me, or I can grab them from your Instagram profile and add it to this recording so people can access you, get access to the tools that you have. Tell us again about Canva College.
So Canva College is a course, and basically if you are a beginner or even advanced, I have people of all levels in there, and you learn every single thing that there is about Canva. The cool thing I did with it is I made it like lifetime access. So basically when there's something new that gets like released, I'm making a video and I'm adding it in there. So it's not like, oh, new stuff will come out next year and like I make a new course about it. No, like it's all going in the same place because I feel like, I mean, yeah, it'll help people, but I also feel like why would I make multiple courses just because there's new releases? I want everything all in the same space because that's kind of
Yeah.
how my brain works. Like I want it all together. So yeah, so I made that, and I have a little community of people, and we're in like a little private Facebook group, and people like I'll post like prompts in there and they'll practice their stuff. There's also lessons in Canva College, but I'll also do like, ones relating to like holidays, stuff like that. And also, I didn't know I was going to do this, but I've been doing it, but I make Canva templates, right? And I sell them. And I've been like giving everyone away to my Canva College people just like for fun. I just like every time I make it, I'm like, here. They're like, oh my God, what? Thanks. So that's kind of, I guess, a new perk that I just decided to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of fun. So
I love that so much. I always tell people to go to Creative Market and just like buy templates. But if you sell templates, I definitely think that they should be connecting with you so that everything can be cohesive and it's
Yep.
plug and play.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lauren, for your time. I'm going to put all your info below so people can connect with you. And until next time,
Yeah, send me a recording.
we'll do. Okay.